also witnessing the arrival of the chief guest, General F.H.S. Kottegoda, Secretary to the Ministry of Defence. Being the only defense university in Sri Lanka, General Sir John Kotelawala Defense University runs in the forefront of the academia, grooming the future to be the eminent military personnel and prestigious civil servants in the industry, both public and private sectors. In this maneuver, IRZ can be considered as a milestone, a blueprint having a legacy running beyond a decade, opening up the doors to a world of opportunities, and the epitome of academic excellence, military and civilian coexistence, and a quintessential product of brainstorming. A kernel to bring together the disciplines such as engineering, medicine, allied health sciences, law, management and finance, mathematics, computing, defense studies, humanities and social sciences, aiming to provide them a platform for disseminating research findings, exchanging contemporary knowledge, and building partnerships and collaborations to advance research and thereby contributing to the national development.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the KDU anthem.
There
please remain standing.
Our flag does not fly because the wind moves it. It flies with the last breath of the brave sons and daughters of the motherland who gave their lives to defend the territorial integrity. We honor their personal courage to face fear, danger, adversity, and the ultimate sacrifice. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the minute of silence to commemorate the fallen war heroes of the motherland. Thank you. Please be seated. All our activities should be governed by the light of knowledge. Therefore, it is imperative that we begin significant activities by lighting the oil lamp. May I now have the honor of inviting Chief Guest General Chancellor Kottegoda, retired Secretary to the Ministry of Defence, Chancellor KDU Admiral Daya Samagiri, former Commander of the Navy, Commander of the Navy Vice Admiral Yadi Silva, Commander of the Air Force Air Marshal Sumangala Dias, Vice Chancellor KDU Air Vice Marshal Kotakadeniya, Mr. Honourable Wijesooriya, the Additional Secretary to the Ministry of Defence, Mrs. S.A.C. Kotelawala, Member of the Board of Management, Conference Chair Mrs. Padmaja Wijesooriya, Troop Under Officer A.K.T.K. Karnaratna, to traditionally mark the commencement of the program, Lighting the Oil Lamp.
Our island nation, being a country with a rich cultural background, is an elegant portrait of a pinnacle of aesthetics, owing to its history that runs back millenniums. Of all forms of dancing, music, arts and sculpture, the mesmerizing dancing styles of upcountry, low country, and Sabargumu traditions, mingled with the traditional music of blowing the conch shell, together with ceremonial drums Magulbera, a dancing item performed by the officer cadets and day scholars of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, will now traditionally mark the commencement of IRC 2019.
International Research Conference. Challenges to humankind in the face of new technologies.
KDU-IRC 2019 is the ultimatum of the greatest endeavors, extensive pre-planning and choreography of the 12th episode of another legacy of KDU in academics and research. The crowning success of this mammoth task we witness here today would not have been achieved if not for the dedicated efforts of the organizing committees under the guidance and supervision of our Vice Chancellor. Therefore, it is with great pleasure that I now invite Air Vice Marshal Sagar Kotakadeniya, the Vice Chancellor of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, to formally welcome the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Honourable Secretary to the Ministry of Defence, Chancellor, Commanders of Navy, Air Force, Additional Secretary to the Ministry of Defence, members of the BOM, High Commissioners, Ambassadors, former Commandants and Vice Chancellors, Senior Academia, Senior Military Officers, distinguished members of the audience, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my greatest pleasure as the Vice Chancellor to deliver the welcome and introductory address of the 12th International Research Conference organized by General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, yet another important milestone of the National Defence University of Sri Lanka. I'm greatly honored to welcome our chief guest, General Kottegoda, Honourable Secretary to the Ministry of Defence. Sir, I'm grateful to you for accepting our invitation and being here to grace this inaugural ceremony of the two-day research conference organized under the theme, Challenges to Humankind in the Face of New Technologies. A word of kind greetings to Professor Abhay Indurua, the keynote speaker of KDU-IRC 2019. It is impressive to note that Professor Indurua was inducted to the Internet Hall of Fame in 2014 and is known as the father of Internet in Sri Lanka. I'm sure that the very presence of such a Sri Lankan intellectual at this conference will overly inspire our young researchers to engage in research while bringing credit to the motherland. I'm also pleased to welcome the Chancellor, Commander of the Navy and the Air Force, Your Excellencies of Diplomatic Corps, former Commandants and Vice Chancellors, senior academics, senior military officers, and all the invitees who are participating at the 12th International Research Conference 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, we consider that the theme of this year's conference is time relevant and will pivot on different disciplines. An avalanche of technological changes will reshape the very essence of humanity and touch every aspect of our lives. As Sri Lankans, we have to be prepared to take challenges. I can proudly say that KDU is at the leading edge of bringing forth professionals in all relevant fields, capable of handling any challenges for a betterment of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, accommodating challenges against new technologies is an essential part of the unique culture of KDU. As a young University of Sri Lanka, KDU is broadening its horizons from traditional to modern discipline, enabling multidisciplinary and cross-field studies of futuristic value. It is amusing to hear that the conference has received research papers in great numbers this year, which is a sign of enthusiasm of local and international authors sharing their research findings under this year's dynamic theme. We have scholars representing many disciplines working towards a common goal, thus actualizing Motherland Forever, the motto of KDU. So, we believe that grooming students of various fields to handle achievements in the technological spheres is an essential facet towards developing the country. In organizing this conference, on the selected theme and its sub-themes of different faculties, we bring research scholars and professionals to a common platform to combine technology in optimum manner within existing standards and cultural principles. We hear of many technical solutions to practical problems of enterprise and society through the lens of new technologies, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, electronic transactions, microbiology, nuclear technology, among other things, comprise the contemporary technologies of the world with emerging risks and barriers in the shape of challenges. In conclusion, let me once again cordially welcome all the dignitaries, intellectuals, and participants. I hope that the deliberation of KDU IRC 2019 would positively contribute towards the well-being of the country and the advancement of humankind. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now introduce our distinguished chief guest, General Kottegoda, who had an illustrious military career spanning over 36 years, during which he held many key appointments in areas of defense, intelligence, peacekeeping, and conflict resolutions, with the ultimate appointment as the 17th Commander of the Sri Lanka Army in 2004. During his outstanding military career, he held many senior command appointments and special assignments prior to being appointed to the office of Commander of the Army. His military career was succeeded by diplomatic missions representing Sri Lanka as the ambassador to Brazil and then Thailand, and accredited to Laos and Cambodia, during which time he was a permanent representative of UNSCAP in Bangkok, Thailand. In recognition of his service as ambassador for his efforts to improve and strengthen the relationship between Brazil and Sri Lanka during his ambassadorship in Brazil, he received one of the highest honors, being the recipient of the President's Medal in Brazil for distinguished contribution. General Kottegoda is also an eminent writer in the area of studies in international relations, intelligence, counterterrorism, and certain areas of Buddhist teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite General Kottegoda, Secretary to the Ministry of Defense, to deliver the opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Chancellor Admiral Dasandagiri and Vice Chancellor of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, Professor Abhay Indurua, Additional Secretaries to the Ministries, Commander of the Sri Lanka Navy, Commander of the Sri Lanka Air Force, Your Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, eminent scholars, invitees, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you. I consider it a great pleasure and privilege to be here today as the chief guest of the inauguration ceremony of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University's 12th International Research Conference. My sincere thanks to the Vice Chancellor and the conference organizers for your invitation to be the chief guest to one of the most significant academic events of this university. Albert Einstein had said that human spirit must prevail over technologies. As the father of the theory of relativity, he has foreseen many decades ago that emerging technologies are to challenge the humankind. In a world where technology has become power and where power is without wisdom, challenges to humankind start emerging. In that backdrop, I congratulate General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University for selecting this year's theme as Challenges to Humankind in the Face of New Technologies. Technology has penetrated into every facet of our life. Humankind has to continuously advance along with this never-ending techno-revolution. Human use of science and technology in the production of creations have brought serious consequences to human society. Technologies are going to have extensive effects on national and international security in the future. This is inescapable. Therefore, as Sri Lankans, we also have to face these challenges and find ways and means to cater for future trends. Governments are forced to prepare effective security strategies that incorporate a vision of technology's impact on the future. Researchers involved in these designs have an obligation to come up with designs that can save lives, make lives better, and increase the global economy. At the same time, they have the responsibility to include moral and ethical aspects to their designs to stop disaster from happening. Today, we are faced with challenges with the misuse of new technology for self-perceived personal, social, political, and economical goals. The fast-growing technology has become a limitation rather than a force multiplier in countering violent extremism conducive to terrorism. Therefore, I believe that we must concentrate wholeheartedly on how we can safeguard the humankind from the technological mismanagement. All nation states need to work together to address terrorist threats in cyberspace, particularly terrorist recruitment, incitement, and the spread of hate and violent extremist propaganda through the use of modern information and technology know-how to keep pace with and counter its accelerating and increasing sophisticated use by terrorists. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, it is a collective responsibility by both security forces and the civil community to work hand in glove to counter threats to humankind from the misuse of new technologies. None can pass that responsibility to the other. The knowledge that you are going to unearth and share during this conference would be of immense benefit not only to the academic community, but to the entire humankind to make their lives better. I am sure that faculties of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, with their interest, commitment, and knowledge in diverse academic disciplines and outside researchers' input, would contribute immensely to this year's research conference theme. Those contributions, I believe, would be for the betterment of mankind. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, we have to face grim realities in the ideals that we expect in our lives. As Einstein said, nothing is absolute in time and space, but relative to many other factors. Conferences of this nature are instrumental in clearing our fog of mind for better countermeasures. Let me express my most professed thanks to the Vice Chancellor and the organizers of General Sir John Kotelawala University's International Research Conference 2019 for inviting me for this occasion and giving me an opportunity to speak to you. Let me appreciate and congratulate all of you for selecting a timely and a pertinent theme. I wish all those participants from our friendly foreign countries a pleasant experience during their stay here. Finally, I wish all the participants the best in their research endeavors and the KDU Research Conference 2019 to be most successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Please remain on stage. To present the token of appreciation to our chief guest, may I now have the honor of inviting the Vice Chancellor of KDU, Air Vice Marshal Kottakadeniya, accompanied by the Adjutant of KDU. Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the departure of the chief guest and the commanders of Navy and Air Force to attend an urgent matter. IRC 2019 being the 12th episode of another legacy of KDU, we, as the only defense university in Sri Lanka, are truly privileged to have you here with us today. Aptly known as the father of internet in Sri Lanka, our keynote speaker today is the inaugural Professor Wijesooriya, Endowed Professor of Computing, University of Colombo, Sri Lanka. Currently serving as the Director of Center for Cybercrime and Security Innovation, CSSI, in the School of Law, Criminal Justice and Computing at Canterbury Christ Church University in the United Kingdom, where he leads research into security and forensic investigation of IoT.
Exploring new avenues in cyberspace. Introducing new concepts in the digital era. Inspiring many innovations, pioneering groundbreaking projects, an intellectual with a far-sighted vision, one of the most respected Sri Lankan scientists in today's world, Professor Abir Indurua. An old boy of Nalanda College, Colombo, excelled in the field of computer science and opened up new pathways for many aspiring generations to achieve success in their respective fields. He is Professor of Computing at University of Colombo School of Computing and was endowed by the inaugural Professor, Professor Wijesooriya. Currently, he serves as the Director, Center for Cybercrime and Security Innovation in the School of Law, Criminal Justice and Computing at Canterbury Christ Church University. He was the founder of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at University of Moratuwa in 1985, the first of its kind in a Sri Lankan state university, and he served as its head until 1998. Professor Indurua is a chartered engineer and a chartered fellow of several institutions, such as the Institution of Engineering and Technology UK, Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, and of the British Computer Society. In 1983, he served on the National Committee for the Computer Policy in Sri Lanka. He was appointed to the inaugural board of the Computer and Information Technology Council by His Excellency, the President of Sri Lanka, in 1984. He held the Syntech portfolios for computer education, standardization, data communication, and computer networking. He was also a member of the cabinet-appointed committee that formulated the data communication and computer networking strategy for Sri Lanka in 1992. In recognition of his pioneering efforts in bringing the Internet to Sri Lanka, Professor Inauguration was inducted to the Internet Hall of Fame 2014, an honorary Lifetime Achievement Award administered by the Internet Society. Locally, he was honored in June 2015 by the Internet Society Sri Lanka chapter with the Internet Pioneers Award at the celebration of 20 years of Internet in Sri Lanka. Professor Inauguration received a Lifetime Achievement Award from Sri Lanka Telecom in June 2017. In 2018, he served as an expert on cybercrime to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. He is a member of the General Assembly of the European Cybercrime Education and Training Group of the Europol. It is not an exaggeration to consider Professor Inauguration as the father of the Internet in Sri Lanka. The distinguished Sri Lankan scientist, Professor Inauguration, is here today with us. May we now have the privilege of listening to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I now have the honor of inviting our keynote speaker, Professor Inauguration, to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
The journey is never ending. Improvement, growth, and adversity are there always. You just have to take it all and do what's right, continue to grow, continue to live in the moment. This very moment of concluding the inaugural session of the 12th International Research Conference will be a sterling moment to be cherished for you all, being a part of our success story. Ladies and gentlemen, let me invite Mrs. Padmaja Wijesooriya, the conference chair, for the closing remarks. Over to you, madam.
Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Air Vice Marshal Kotakadeniya, Additional Secretary to the Ministry of Defense, members of the BOM, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Defense and Administration, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics, Rector, Southern Campus, senior professors, distinguished guests, colleagues, other military officers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today is the culmination of over 9 months of hard work and effort by a group of people who directly and indirectly supported our endeavor in organizing the 12th International Research Conference 2019, which is held annually at KDU. I am here to convey my most sincere and heartfelt gratitude to all of those who contributed to our efforts in organizing this conference successfully. April 2019 marked one of the darkest months in the hearts and minds due to the Easter Sunday attacks. The deaths of innocent worshippers shocked the conscience of not only Sri Lankans, but the entire world. We are still struggling to revive from the pain and devastation felt by each one of us. In this background, we went forward with our task to organize this international event hoping that this will be an effort in making positive impact. We are thankful for all the guest speakers who graciously accepted our invitation and traveled from across the world to attend the 12th International Research Conference. I would like to thank you on behalf of KDU for the trust placed in this university and Sri Lanka. I believe Sri Lanka is a harmonious, peace-loving, strong and resilient nation. I sincerely hope that this conference will be a reflection of these qualities. On behalf of KDU, I would first and foremost like to extend very heartfelt appreciation to our chief guest, Secretary to the Ministry of Defense, General Retired Shantha Kottegoda, who has been an immense support throughout the process of organizing this event, and for accepting our invitation to grace this occasion as our chief guest, despite his busy schedules and numerous commitments at the ministry. It is my pleasure to express our gratitude to our keynote speaker, Professor Abe Induruwa. Sir, thank you for accepting our invitation and agreeing to travel from the UK, especially for this event. The insight and knowledge you provided through your keynote address added color to this academic conference and positively increased the experience of the attendees of the conference. I would like to take a moment to especially appreciate the Vice Chancellor of KDU, Air Vice Marshal Sagara Kotakadeniya, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Defense and Administration, Brigadier Nanda Haturusingha, and Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor Jayanta Aryaratna, for their consistent guidance throughout this journey. I am grateful for their encouragement, time and coordination, and for your interest in all the details related to the organization of the conference. It is your vision and ambition that is fulfilled today. Further, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our sponsors, the Ministry of Health, Condominium Management Authority, Bank of Ceylon, People's Bank, and our suppliers, especially printers and artwork designers. It has been a tiring few months with endless work weeks and sleepless nights. I thank my secretaries, coordinators, editors, committee presidents, and members of various committees, the registrar, the adjutant, the CEO administration, the staff officers, and support staff, for their support throughout the process. This conference would not have been a reality without the support and the hours that each one of you contributed without hesitation. My sincere thanks are also extended to Mr. Kitsiri Amaratunga, President of the Editorial Committee, senior professors, former IRC committees, and deans of all the faculties for their valuable advices. I would also like to thank all who supported my team and I in multiple ways in order to make this event successful. Last but not least, all the researchers, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being with us this morning. I wish you all a fruitful day filled with academic rigor, intellectual stimulation, and networking with like-minded intellectuals. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam.
Ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end of the inaugural session of the International Research Conference 2019. Kindly remain seated as there are two important announcements to be made. I kindly request the nominated VIPs to come onto the stage to pose for the official photograph. Secondly, I invite the remaining guests to proceed to the refreshment area in the second floor. Thank you.